and good day. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz from eTurboNews, and this is a breaking news update. For more news updates and shows, please go to youtube.com/travel news group. youtube.com/travel news group. Here's our update.
Chinese President XI Jinping pitches new propaganda for world peace, Russia, Ukraine, and China to major U.S. media, and pays for it. President Xi Jinping on Friday discussed the current Russian invasion of Ukraine in a highly publicized video call with President Biden. U.S. media reported about the call between the U.S. and Chinese presidents in detail. Today the China propaganda machine hired a commercial U.S. wire service to circulate its version of the call and the consequences to the American media. What is RT in Russia, is CGTN in China. A propaganda machine that was put in place with taxpayers' money. PR Newswire is a U.S.-based for-hire newswire. CGTN today hired PR Newswire to circulate a propaganda message to American journalists. The Foreign Agents Registration Act (FARA) in the United States imposes disclosure requirements and other legal obligations on any individual or entity that becomes an agent of a foreign principal, unless an exemption applies. It's not clear if PR Newswire is listed as a foreign agent, or required to do so. According to Wikipedia, China Global Television Network (CGTN) is the international division of the state-owned media organization China Central Television (CCTV), the headquarters of which is in Beijing, China. CGTN broadcasts 6 news and general interest channels in 6 languages. CGTN is registered under the State Council of the People's Republic of China and is under the control of the Propaganda Department of the Chinese Communist Party. General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party Xi Jinping described CGTN's goal as to tell China's story well. According to the CGTN website, China Global Television Network, or CGTN, is an international media organization launched on December 31, 2016. It aims to provide global audiences with accurate and timely news coverage as well as rich audiovisual services, promoting communication and understanding between China and the world, and enhancing cultural exchanges and mutual trust between China and other countries. Headquartered in Beijing, CGTN has 3 production centers, located in Nairobi, Washington, D.C., and London, all staffed with international professionals from around the world. Adhering to the principles of objectivity, rationality, and balance in reporting, CGTN endeavors to present information from diverse perspectives. CGTN's TV channels are available in more than 160 countries and regions worldwide. It also incorporates the video news agency Global Video News Agency. CGTN, a pioneer of media convergence in China, delivers digital content through CGTN Digital, which is accessible via cgtn.com, CGTN mobile applications, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Weibo, and other social media platforms, with over 150 million followers across the globe. Today CGTN issued the following open letter and has been encouraging American journalists to publish it. The letter was circulated by a paid U.S.-based wire service PR Newswire. Chinese President XI Jinping wanted this message to go strong, go to U.S. journalists, U.S. citizens and the U.S. government. From the COVID-19 pandemic to the Ukraine crisis, the international landscape has experienced major changes, with global peace and development facing serious challenges. The world is neither tranquil nor stable, Chinese President Xi Jinping said on Friday while calling on China and the U.S. to shoulder their share of international responsibilities and work for world peace and tranquility. Xi made the remarks during a video call with U.S. President Joe Biden at the latter's request. As leaders of major countries, we need to think about how to properly address global hotspot issues and, more importantly, keep in mind global stability and the work and life of billions of people, Xi told Biden. After their candid and in-depth discussion, the 2 leaders agreed to take concrete actions to put China-U.S. relations back on the track of steady development and make respective efforts for the proper settlement of the Ukraine crisis. I take these remarks very seriously. Biden again told Xi that the U.S. does not seek to have a new Cold War with China, to change China's system, or to revitalize alliances against China, and that the U.S. does not support Taiwan independence, or intend to seek a conflict with China. Xi replied, I take these remarks very seriously. She pointed out the China-US relationship, instead of getting out of the predicament created by the previous U.S. administration, has encountered a growing number of challenges. What's worth noting, in particular, is that some people in the U.S. have sent a wrong signal to Taiwan independence forces, she said, adding, "This is very dangerous. Mishandling of the Taiwan question will have a disruptive impact on bilateral ties," said she. China hopes that the U.S. will give due attention to this issue, he said. The direct cause for the current situation in the China-U.S. relationship is that some people on the U.S. side have not followed through on the important common understanding reached by the two presidents and have not acted on President Biden's positive statements. The U.S. has misperceived and miscalculated China's strategic intention, she stressed. He underscored that there have been and will continue to be differences between China and the U.S. What matters is to keep such differences under control. A steadily growing relationship is in the interest of both sides, the Chinese president said. It takes two hands to clap. Friday's video call was the first conversation between the two leaders since the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. They both expounded on their positions on the issue and voiced a willingness to make efforts for the proper settlement of the crisis. As Biden expressed readiness for communication with China to prevent the situation from exacerbating, she told him, China does not want to see the situation in Ukraine come to this. China stands for peace and opposes war. This is embedded in China's history and culture. The Chinese president reiterated the major principles that underpin China's approach to the Ukraine crisis and noted that all sides need to jointly support Russia and Ukraine in having dialogue and negotiation that will produce results and lead to peace. The more complex the situation, the greater the need to remain cool-headed and rational, she said, adding that whatever the circumstances, there is always a need for political courage to create space for peace and leave room for a political settlement. Citing two Chinese sayings, "It takes two hands to clap, he who tied the bell to the tiger must take it off," she urged the U.S. and NATO to have a dialogue with Russia to address the crux of the Ukraine crisis and ease the security concerns of both Russia and Ukraine. Noting things are already very difficult for countries around the world due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Chinese president also warned that sweeping and indiscriminate sanctions would only make the people suffer. If further escalated, they could trigger serious crises in global economy and trade, finance, energy, food, and industrial and supply chains, crippling the already languishing world economy and causing irrevocable losses, she said. China has been doing its best for peace and will continue to play a constructive role, he added.
Thank you for listening to our news update. There's more on youtube.com/travel news group, or you can read us, of course, in going to our news portal at eTurboNews.com or travelnews.online.